Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Bobby's Vinyl Views. Today I'll be reviewing the first flight of the Gizzelda Dragon by an artist known as Michel, who is a late 1970s artist, and also by Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali helped Michel do the album upon meeting him on the set of one of Muhammad's movies. I believe it was Freedom Road, in 1978. The album came out in 1979, and they used such promotional tools as the Dick Cavett show and an hour-long Muhammad Ali special talking about the album and Muhammad Ali's life. But Michel kind of reminds me of, a folk type of singer, kind of like Bob Dylan or, Joan Baez or James Taylor or people like that. Just the sound of his voice evokes, a James Taylor type of feel. And the album talks about, happy songs and feelings in society and things in a happy light, and I think you can't beat that. That's why I like such 60s and 70s music like the Beatles and, Pink Floyd, and it's a very subdued type of feel, but, this one flows along just great. And let me get to the first track here. The first track is Muhammad Ali and Michel, just talking and introducing the album, and Muhammad Ali's talking about how Michel's going to be the greatest of all time once this album is released. I'd never heard of him before until this album, and I haven't really heard of him since, but he's released albums, throughout the 80s, and his most recent one is called, I think it's called Good Music, the album, and it's released in 2007. But the first track is just them introducing, the album as if it was, a live show type of thing, but they're just introducing the album for the listener. And they're just saying how he's going to be the greatest of all time and how you're really going to enjoy this album, which you do. The next song is, the first song really, is Rich to Be Happy, and it's about how, it really just talks about how you don't need to be rich to be happy, and it just blows that, feeling in society that in order to be happy you need to be rich and you need to be successful and all that. It blows that right out the window. Basically says you find your own happiness and in life, and the more happier you lead your life, that's how happy you are, and you don't need to be rich to be happy. That's what this song basically says. Then Muhammad Ali comes in the next track. Really, it's not a track, but it's just an introduction, and they introduce love, and they talk about how love is the greatest feeling somebody can feel in the whole world, and it beats out any other emotion or any other feeling like hate or anger or anything like that, because love overpowers everything in the end. And, that's what the song talks about too. How love overpowers everything, and people need to be loved, and, it's a great emotion and a great feeling to be loved by people and by spouses, girlfriends, whatever, boyfriends, It's a great feeling to be loved, and, that's what the song says. Next song is called Take Me Down, which talks about he doesn't want to be brought down, but he wants to be feeling the same types of emotions as his love, and he wants to fly with them, he wants to go down with them, take me down, and he wants to fly and experience life in the world with this person, whoever the person is. That's what the song. And then Muhammad Ali comes in the next track, and it's a brief little snippet, but he says, "I am me a star," which She's endorsing Michel here. Alright, so then the next song is called In My Mind. And this song basically talks about how things in the world, thoughts, events, things like that, are formed in his mind, just like everybody else's. You take one side of a story, and then you form both sides of the story, and then you form your own conclusion in your mind, and you take things in your mind. But this one talks about how, happiness is formed in your mind through the experiences in life. And, that's what, happiness is a key theme in this album. Boogie Train, which talks about how he's waiting in a train station, thinking about things and waiting to climb aboard the boogie train. And it's a very dance-esque feel, like a disco type of song, like in the 70s. And, it's the most dancey type of song on this whole album. I like it. I like to get up and dance, and you see my videos with my niece, and, I like all that stuff. It's a great feeling. It releases energy, it releases tension to dance, that's why they have all these dance clubs, just to dance around and have a good time. And this was what the boogie train evokes that feeling of, is just having a good time and letting your, feelings flow, if you will. Open Door. Next song is called Open Door, which to me talks about, taking every opportunity. A hidden message in this song is taking every opportunity that you get with every open door that you see, letting, life take hold, and just take every opportunity that you can. Don't live with regrets. You should never live with regrets anyway, because everything that happens in life happens for a reason, and, the experience that you have in life would not be the experiences had it not been for things necessarily bad that happened in your life as a result of, choices or events in your life, which you should never have regrets of, just saying. And then Muhammad Ali comes in and talks about kind of a random type of thing, but he talks about his friend Billy and, a certain event in his life, and, that's pretty good. But the next song is called I Love to Hear It, which talks about, basically gives the message that if you have something to say it. Don't, don't, wait to say something until it's too late. If you want to say you love a person, if you want to talk about how happy the person makes you, or how happy your family or friends or whatever makes you, you gotta say it before it's too late, and just let it be said. That's what this said. They'd love to hear it, so just say it. Say whatever's on your heart and on your mind. And then Muhammad Ali comes in on the next track and talks about how throughout your whole life, you're being tested. Life is a test, a big test. And through experiences, and through maybe a death in the family or a death of a friend, it's a test of the Lord is testing you on things that you maybe can handle, but I don't see it that way. I think of life as a big test of faith. Throughout your whole life, you're being tested on, it's a big test of faith, and, God, the way that I think about it is that God would not take you as far as he does if he didn't think that you could handle it, because he's the one who made you, he's the one who, loves you, he's the one who, gave you life through your mother, you know what I mean? And he would not take you as far if he didn't think that you could handle certain things in life. And that's what Muhammad touches upon, and I think he's got a great point here because I agree with him. And then the next one is called Raggedy Muffin Child, which is about a kid who gets told in life to be like somebody else. But then, as he progresses in life, whether it be on the playground, I don't know where this takes place, on the playground or just in life in general, he realizes that no two people are alike and no two people are the same. So he realizes that he needs to be his own person. And that's a great message in the song because I think too many people are copying others, too many people are giving into peer pressure just to be like somebody else, to fit in. I get that. You gotta fit in with the crowd because you want to be liked. But I think that's happening way too much and people just aren't letting themselves people aren't being themselves, and they need to be like they need to embrace themselves before they embrace somebody else who may potentially bring them down and lead them to bad choices. So the next song here, let's see here, We've Got It, which I don't really know what this song is about. This song is a bit more complicated, but it is a groovy type of feeling song. It's a very uplifting song. It says, we've got it until we've got it until it falls down, which kind of reminds me of a child's blocks. You know how they have blocks and they stack them up, stack them up, stack them up, stack them up, and then they bring them down. We've got it until we bring it down. You know what I mean? So that's what I pictured in this song, but I don't know, just food for thought. And then Lovely Bubbles gets introduced on the next track by Muhammad and Michel, and they talk about the inspiration for the song is about, not only little children, but little children inside all of us, the little child inside all of us. We all have, our inner child, and we all want to be, young and, relive our childhood depending on how it was when we grew up. And, we all think about our fond memories growing up as kids. And it's about the little child in all of us, and in addition to the little kids today. And Lovely Bubbles, just talks about, reminds the kid rather that, you're always loved, and, I like that, because, whether people always think that kids should never cry or whatever, depending on, I don't know, how you're raised, but you just gotta remember that you're always loved, kids. You gotta remember that. And I think that this song, Lovely Bubbles, gives a good reminder of that. You know what I mean? And then, the very end, Muhammad and Michel close the show by just saying, thank you for listening to this album, and if you liked it, write to the, album people, and we'll be back soon, which I don't know if they ever collaborated again, but this was a good album, and it is worthy of a listen, and it is, I think it's a good album, and I had not pictured, Muhammad Ali doesn't sing, but I had not pictured, him collaborating on an album. This was good, and he also has released back in the 60s, when he was first starting out as Cassius Clay. He released I Am the Greatest, which, it's an album which he does sing, and it brings in the boxing atmosphere with, ringside type of things, and a boxing bell. It is, and it's a good little album, but, this one is, again, the first flight of the Gizzelda dragon. Check it out. It's on iTunes. been on iTunes for a couple of years now. I believe it's been on there since 2005 or 2007. Check it out. It's a good album, and whether you like Michel or you like Muhammad Ali, it's a good little song. It's a very happy song. And again, if you like James Taylor or you like Bob Dylan, you'll definitely like Michel. Michel, and I will link up, interviews that Muhammad and Michel have done in 1979 to promote this album, so you get a feel of what it is, and check it out. And have a good day, folks. This has been Poppy's Vinyl Reviews. Peace and love. Here's the album cover right here.